Hey everybody, Tutor Tom here, and welcome to a brand spanking new video. Today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of networking, specifically for you awesome folks tackling the CompTIA A+ certification exam. Networking can feel like trying to untangle Christmas lights after your cats use them as a scratching post, messy and way more complicated than it needs to be. But fear not, my friends, because in this series, we're going to break down all the essential concepts into bite-sized, easy-to-digest pieces. So, buckle up, grab your favorite energy drink, and let's conquer this exam together, one packet at a time. Alright folks, let's kick things off with the backbone of any network cables. Think of them like the veins and arteries of your network, carrying crucial data back and forth. First up, we've got the ever-popular twisted pair cable, your trusty sidekick in the networking world. You've probably seen these guys around. Cat 5e, Cat 6, Cat 6a, they're everywhere. They're like the different tiers of internet service. Cat 5e's your basic plan, Cat 6's got a bit more oomph, and Cat 6a, well, that's your fiber optic feeding speed demon, at least for shorter distances. Next, we've got coaxial cables, the OG of networking. You'll find these bad boys in cable TV setups. Think RG6 and RG59. And finally we arrive at the king of the hill, the speed demon, the data transferring champion fiber optic cable. This stuff is like the Autobahn of the networking world, using pulses of light to transmit data at ludicrous speeds. Alright, we've talked about the highways of our network. Now let's talk about the on and off ramps connectors. These little guys are what allow us to physically connect our devices to the network. First up, the rock star of the Ethernet world, RJ45. This 8-pin connector is what you'll find on most Ethernet cables and ports. Next we've got its little brother, RJ11. This guy's got fewer pins, usually 6, and is typically used for telephone lines. For our high-speed fiber optic cables, we've got a few different connectors to choose from. LC connectors are small and compact, kind of like the mini USB of the fiber world. SC connectors are a bit larger and more square-shaped, while SD connectors have a distinctive bayonet-style twist-lock mechanism. And let's not forget our coaxial cables. BNC connectors are commonly used for video applications, with their twist and lock design providing a secure connection. Alright folks, we've got our cables and connectors sorted. Now let's talk about the real brains of the operation network devices. These are the gadgets that direct traffic, boost signals, and keep your data flowing smoothly. First up, we've got hubs. Now hubs are like the old-school party lines of networking. They broadcast any data they receive to all connected devices. It's simple, but not very efficient. Next, we've got switches. These guys are like the savvy traffic cops of your network. They learn the addresses of connected devices and only forward data to the intended recipient. Now let's talk routers. These bad boys are like the post office of your network, directing data packets between different networks. They're what allow you to connect to the internet and share your connection with multiple devices. And speaking of connecting to the internet, let's not forget modems. These guys are like the translators between your network and your internet service provider, ISP, converting signals back and forth. We've also got access points, which are like the Wi-Fi hotspots that allow your devices to connect wirelessly. And let's not forget about firewalls. These guys are like the security guards of your network, protecting your devices from unauthorized access and malicious attacks. Finally, we've got patch panels, which are like the switchboards of your network, providing a central location to connect and organize all your cables. Alright folks, let's talk about addresses. Not your home address, but the addresses of your devices on a network, IP addresses. These unique identifiers are how devices find and communicate with each other. First up, we've got IPv4, the old reliable of IP addressing. It's like your trusty landline phone number, a series of numbers separated by dots. That's where IPv6 comes in. This new and improved addressing system is like upgrading to a smartphone. Way more addresses than we could ever need. It uses a combination of letters and numbers, and it's the future of IP addressing. Now we've also got private and public IP addresses. Think of private IPs like your internal office phone extensions. They only work within your local network. Public IPs, on the other hand, are like your company's main phone number. They're how the outside world connects to your network. And let's not forget about static and dynamic IP addressing. Static IPs are like assigned parking spots. They never change. Dynamic IPs, on the other hand, are like finding a parking spot in a busy city. They're assigned as needed and can change over time. Finally, we've got DHCP, the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This handy protocol is like the parking attendant of your network, automatically assigning IP addresses to devices as they connect. And then there's DNS, the domain name system, which is like the internet's phone book, translating human-readable domain names like google.com into IP addresses that computers can understand. Chapter 5. Subnetting, Slicing and Dicing Your Network Pie. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into the slightly more technical world of subnetting. Don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. Think of subnetting like dividing your house into different rooms. Each room still belongs to your house, but it has its own specific purpose and maybe even its own set of rules. So, why bother with subnetting? Well, it helps to organize your network, improve security, and even boost performance. Now, subnets are defined by something called a subnet mask. These masks look like IP addresses but with a twist. They use a special notation like /24/16 or /30 to tell us how many bits are used for the network portion of the address and how many are left for individual devices. Don't worry too much about the math behind it, but just know that a smaller subnet mask like /24 means a larger subnet with more available IP addresses, while a larger subnet mask like /30 means a smaller subnet with fewer addresses. Subnetting might seem a bit intimidating at first, but trust me, once you grasp the basic concepts, it's like riding a bike. You'll be subnetting your network like a pro in no time. Chapter 6. Wireless Standards. Surfing the airwaves of data. Alright folks, let's cut the cord and talk about wireless networking. We've all used Wi-Fi, but have you ever stopped to think about how it actually works? There's a whole world of wireless standards out there, each with its own quirks and capabilities. First up, we've got the 802.11 family of standards, which is like the royal family of Wi-Fi. You've got your 802.11a, 802.11b, 802.11g, 802.11n, 802.11ac, and the latest and greatest 802.11ax, also known as Wi-Fi 6. These standards dictate things like frequency, speed, and range. For example, 802.11n operates on both the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz frequencies, while 802.11ac is all about that 5 GHz life for faster speeds. Speaking of frequencies, 2.4 GHz is like the busy city street of Wi-Fi, lots of devices using it, which can lead to congestion and slower speeds. 5 GHz is like the express lane, less crowded and faster, but with a shorter range. Choosing the right wireless standard and frequency depends on your needs. If you need the absolute fastest speeds and have a lot of devices, 802.11ax on the 5 GHz or 6 GHz band is the way to go. But if you're just browsing the web and checking email, 802.11n on the 2.4 GHz band might be all you need. Chapter 7. Encryption Types, Shielding Your Data from Prying Eyes. Alright folks, let's talk about security. When you're connected to a Wi-Fi network, especially a public one, it's like shouting your private information in a crowded room. Anyone can listen in if they know how. That's where encryption comes in. Encryption is like putting your data in a secret code that only authorized devices can decipher. First up, we've got WEP, Wired Equivalent Privacy. Now, WEP is like that old, rusty lock on your grandma's shed. It might have worked back in the day, but it's easily broken nowadays. Then came WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access, which was like upgrading to a deadbolt lock. It was much more secure than WEP, but it still had some vulnerabilities. Next, we got WPA2, which was like adding a security system to your house. It was even more secure than WPA and became the standard for Wi-Fi security for many years. But as technology evolves, so do the bad guys trying to break in. That's why we now have WPA3, the latest and greatest in Wi-Fi security. It's like having a state-of-the-art security system with motion sensors, cameras, and laser beams. When choosing a Wi-Fi network, always look for WPA2 or WPA3 encryption. And if you're setting up your own network, make sure you choose a strong password. Remember folks, security is key. Protect your data like you would your most valuable possessions. Stay safe out there. And there you have it folks. We've covered a ton of ground in this video, from the different types of cables and connectors to the intricacies of subnetting and encryption. I know it's a lot to take in, but remember, you don't have to memorize everything at once. Just take it one step at a time, practice what you learn, and don't be afraid to ask questions. You've got this. And hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Now go out there and ace that CompTIA A+ exam.